We're Kim and Al. Last year, we made some pretty big changes. We retired, sold our house in the city, and moved north to an old farm homestead at the end of its life. Our plan is to build an off-grid home ourselves. This year, with our solar and septic systems completed, as well as basic four-season shelter, we're ready to take on the challenge of building our forever home. We're excited to share our experience as we continue to create this new life on the North River.
Little squirrel. Hi everybody, welcome to screw up number 932. Built this door, very happy with it. It's very square. Then I started second guessing myself when I went to install it, and then I realized, sadly, I should have paid more attention when I was putting together the frame. The frame itself was not square. You can see here now I had to take all the pieces off, and so I could pry out this jack stud so that this is now level, right? Like up and down, perfectly vertical. And then joining up at the bottom, and then for this one I ended up, because I can't push the board in, because basically we had this problem, so I can move a board out like this, but I can't move that stud in. So what I ended up having to do is use my planer, the electric one, so I didn't kill myself, and just ground down this one side until I got it level. So now it's pretty square. Very disappointing though. Lost pretty much the entire day yesterday because I had to pull all those pieces off and take it all apart. Then second guessing myself, I took the door frame in, laid it down on the floor inside our building, and put the laser level to it just to make sure everything was square. Realized that was okay and that this was the mistake. To be honest, I wish it was the door. The door would have been easier to fix before I had covered it in sheathing. Than having to pry this apart and adjust the frame. But pencils, erasers, yada yada, here we are, and now we're just about to install the door. Good times.
what we do. Watching people all stressed out, running through their lives, a game they play, 1,000 miles of sadness. I can be with you wherever, stay at home or in a foreign land. I can stay like this forever, 'cause I got the world in my hand. Don't you worry about tomorrow. Let's stay up until the morning light. Let the sun take care of your sorrow, and I promise the kids will be alright. 'Cause we don't want them all stressed out, running for their lives, a game they play, 1,000 miles of sadness. I can be with you wherever.
We have to do a little MacGyvering here. This is the shaft that comes with the doorknob set. The doorknob, we're putting really fancy doorknobs on this outhouse. These are the last set that we have, an extra set that came from our place in TO. It was a very stately 1922 two-story bungalow. But the original hardware is not long enough to go through. The shaft is not long enough.
That's what she said.
That is what she said. And this piece of oak is going to be the reasonable facsimile. It just happens I just have it in my endless hoarding bits of scrap, and it is the same size and everything else. And oak is pretty solid, so I think I did something like this, only I might have used an old drumstick in our place on a door in the basement, but we'll see how this goes. Worst thing that happens is it breaks, and we go and see if we can find one of these at the hardware store. Further. Oh, it's getting fast. Like me now, housefly. Tapered in because the usually that, you know, you'd have the kick plate stick out a little further. And the only thing left to do is to gouge this out.
Hey guys, so while we are waiting for our floor to dry, because we've had to put a bunch of coats on it, we are going to unbox our compost toilet, which we've had for over a year now, and so we're really excited to get it out of the shed finally and actually use it. So we are going to be going into the city to get a few things to finish off this outhouse, one of them being the sink, and we want to make sure that anything that we need for the compost toilet we pick up as well. So pretty exciting to be at this stage. We're almost done and just finishing touches now, so yeah, we're going to do a little unveiling of the compost toilet for you.
For anyone wondering, we bought this. There's a couple of different companies that sell composting toilets. Sunmar being one of the big ones, Separate being another. And with this particular toilet, it runs on a 12-volt circuit. So any golf cart battery, car battery, whatever, your 12-volt battery of choice. The design is that you always sit on this toilet. There is no stand-up option unless you are some kind of amazing sharpshooter, because your urine needs to go into the front here. Tip that forward, lift the seat. You pee into this part, and your poop goes in this part. So when you sit down, this will cause the, and I think there's some stuff in here in the way. We'll have to remove that. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, all the accoutrement for the installation, including the composting bags. Now, my understanding is, when I did some reading, you can use the official composting bags, or you can save yourself money and use regular composting bags. I do not know that there's much difference, but we'll take an honest look at that. So, trying to figure out. Something under this. Yeah, there's more stuff in here. Beaucoup de choses. Oh, is there two buckets? Look at that. You get a free bucket. Oh, and it's made in Sweden. I was going to say it was a Canadian company, and that is completely and utterly incorrect. So, there we go. So the idea is, when you put weight on this, on the seat, that slides open this little thingamabobber, little trap door. And I guess that's really just so that you don't have to look at the poop, right? So, because it doesn't look like it's air sealed or anything to prevent any smell, but the whole idea behind this is as follows. And me and Kim, we watched this whole 3-part video, I think it was on Netflix, about Bill Gates and some of the initiatives that he's a part of. One of them being trying to find a universal sanitation solution for countries that don't have the existing infrastructure. Like, if you think about it, once you have an existing city and it doesn't have sewers, you can't really put sewers in after the fact. So he's been looking for ways to, you know, and funding all these different research projects and experiments in finding ways to efficiently deal with solid waste that doesn't require some kind of giant sewer system to cart it away somewhere for processing. And so one of the first things that we learned in watching this is that all the smell and the potential biohazard, although human fecal matter, human waste is dangerous by itself, when you mix it with urine, it's just, that's what creates the disgusting smell and just the overall unpleasantness of like, say, a traditional outhouse where everything's going into a hole in the ground under the seat. So the idea is that you separate, hence the not so clever name Separate. You separate the urine, which is sterile, and goes through the piping system and out the back. There's a little outlet port here. So there is no hole, there's no collar to install. The poop stays in the basket, the bucket underneath, and you line that with a compostable bag, and the urine then flows out into the ground. You dig a little hole, put some rocks in there just so it distributes, and then that does its thing and you don't have to worry about that. And the waste that stays in that bucket is dried out by a fan, hence the need for the 12-volt circuit. So it runs this fan that comes out the back here. You pipe that out the wall, and it's not unlike any other sewer vent, but the fan forcibly and quickly dries out the solid waste, and once it's dry, it doesn't smell. And so that's the big thing, keeping it wet, keeping it mixed with urine, as unpleasant as all of this is. That is why most outhouses, smell like outhouses. So with this, the idea is the solid waste again dries out, the urine is separated, and then once that bucket is filled, then you just simply take it out like the trash. Technically, you're supposed to be able to use it to compost with. Like, you could put it in its own compost pile and let it further degrade to the point where you could use it. Not sure if I want to start playing with night soil, and I think that's the term they use for it, using human waste as fertilizer. But that's a subject for another day, some reading and research for making that decision. But in the meantime, for as often as it will be used by guests, the idea is we put a clean bag in, load it up, and someone's visiting, they've got a toilet they can use. We can use it when we don't want to have to walk all the way back to the trailer, and that is that. So again, outlet port for the air, and it looks like it comes with, looks like this would be the hose that fits over with some kind of compression fitting or ring clamp, and that goes off the back here, and then we just route that out the wall or under through the floor or somewhere so that the urine is dealt with outside of the building. And then the rest of all this stuff, I think, is for the venting. It looks like these are all couplings and pieces that are probably compatible with this piece here.
It looks like they included everything.
Yeah, no, I think you're supposed to be able, the only time you would need more is if, you wanted to do something different with the installation. You know what I mean? Like if you got, like with our outhouse, if we wanted to run it up and through a hole in the overhang of the roof so that it vents over top, then we might have to buy some more of this PVC pipe to go further.
Right. Exciting.
Yeah, fun stuff in the world of toilets, waste management. Oh boy.